Hello, Sally. Can I have a moment to talk?
Oh my gosh, what do you want? If this is about the in-laws, I honestly don't care what happens to them, so do whatever you want.
Actually, I wanted to get in touch with your husband too. But I don't have his contact information. So I was hoping you could let him know about the news I have.
Barry's contact information? He's currently on a business trip overseas. So there's no point in trying to reach him right now anyway.
Oh, I see.
Why didn't you ask your husband for his contact information? They're brothers, after all. Wouldn't that have been easier? It's a bit awkward having to talk to you when I don't know you that well. Just because we both married into the same family doesn't mean we're buddies or anything.
I understand that you want nothing to do with the in-laws or anyone connected to them. I can see that from your lack of visits to us or our mother-in-law, even just once a year. I mean, Barry always comes alone for Christmas, even after marrying you. But I thought this news would be worth sharing with you. So, despite knowing you don't like me much, I contacted you.
So, what is it?
Well, James and I were thinking of living together with Judy in her home. And to do that, we're considering rebuilding the entire house. We're currently discussing things with the contractors.
Living together with our mother-in-law? Why would you guys even consider that? Are you being foolish, Helen? What's the benefit of doing that?
After our father-in-law passed away, Judy's health started declining. I've been helping her around the house and taking her to the doctor for a while now. But we thought it would be much easier if someone was with her all the time. So James and I decided we should live with her.
What? Even then, you're talking about living with someone else's mom. That's just weird. But if you guys are willingly taking full responsibility for her care, then I'll approve. It means I won't ever have to help out or anything, right? It shouldn't be any of my business anyway.
Yeah, I thought you would say something like that. Well, I just wanted to let you guys know.
Hold on a minute. Just to clarify, living together with her won't increase the amount of inheritance you guys receive, right? Because that would be quite selfish.
Inheritance? Judy is still alive, you know?
Yes, but inheritance is still an important matter. Judy is wealthy because our deceased father-in-law owned a business. And their family owns a lot of leased land. If the house is being rebuilt, it will be like new, right? Even after the reconstruction, she will still have a considerable amount of money. Look, I don't want anything to do with the in-laws. But please make sure everything is divided equally between what Barry gets and what James gets, okay? It's only fair.
I don't think now is the right time to discuss that. Besides, there's nothing you or I can do about it since we're not blood relatives to her.
Oh my gosh, did you just refuse what I asked? If you guys are actually planning to move in with Judy just to get a larger share of the inheritance, then I'm against it.
Then would you be willing to move in with her and take care of her instead?
No. Why would you even suggest that? That's ridiculous. I have my own life to live, thank you very much. I'm a busy housewife, and I have much more important things to do. My time is too precious for that.
Well, someone still needs to be by her side and take care of her. I don't know what will happen with the inheritance. But I believe it will be divided according to whatever she decides. If she has no plan, then we'll leave it up to the law.
Fine. Just make sure there are no disputes when it comes to dividing the inheritance after she's passed away. As long as it's done properly, I won't complain. Well, like I said, I'm a busy woman, so goodbye.
James, the contractors have just informed me that the construction is proceeding as planned. So it seems like we could move in next week if there are no issues with the final inspection.
Oh, that's earlier than I anticipated.
Yes, I had the same thought. Did you explain everything to your brother? About the house and other matters?
Yeah, of course. Do you really think I haven't done that already? I informed Barry a while ago about the rebuilding and everything else. Why are you even asking me that?
Okay, I just wanted to confirm. So I suppose it's safe to assume that Sally is also aware of everything.
Anyway, do you have any commitments on Friday afternoon?
I have work, but it's remote, so I can easily adjust things if necessary. Why do you ask?
Can you please take Mom to the doctor?
But wasn't it your turn that day?
Well, unexpected work came up. It seems like I'll be busier from now on. So you'll have to take sole responsibility for Mom's care. But that's okay, right? You only work from home, so it'll be easier for you.
Well, that might be true. But it doesn't mean I can tend to her 24/7. James, have you talked to your mother recently? She mentioned that she misses your company.
It's fine, she has you to talk to.
That's not the point.
Oh yeah, don't make any plans for next weekend.
What? Your mother will be staying at the hospital over the next weekend for some medical tests, remember? I thought we already made plans for what we were going to do.
We're going to the hospital.
For your mother, right?
To take some tests for you.
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean. What tests? I just had my regular medical checkup the other day. If that's what you're referring to.
We've been married for 5 years, and we still don't have a child. I think there might be something seriously wrong with you. So go take some tests. I already found a clinic for you to visit.
You want me to take those kinds of tests?
All my colleagues already have kids. And I don't think Mom has much time left. Besides, Barry doesn't have kids yet either, right? Mom has never had a grandchild before. I want her to see her first grandchild before she passes away.
I don't mind taking the tests. But if that's the case, shouldn't we both get tested together?
Why would I need to get tested? I'm perfectly healthy. Clearly, there's nothing wrong with me.
We can't determine in advance why we're having difficulties conceiving. There might be an issue with my body as well as yours. Or there might be no issues with either of our bodies. Conversely, there could be issues with both of our bodies. So, James, I think it would be better if you also took the tests.
That's a waste of my time and money.
If we're going to investigate this, we should be thorough. Please, let's do it together. For me? I'll cover the cost of the tests. If we're doing this for your mother, then let's follow through.
Well, if you insist so much. You'll cover the entire fee, right?
Yes.
Fine, I'll do it. It's disappointing. But I guess I have no choice but to cancel my plans to go out drinking with my friends next weekend.
Drinking? You never mentioned that to me.
Do I have to inform you about everything?
Well, no, but we already made plans for the weekend. We were supposed to do a thorough cleanup in your mother's room and arrange the nursing bed while she's away. We discussed this recently.
But that's something you can do on your own, right? I don't really need to be there.
You expect me to do it all alone?
Okay. Fine, I'll help you out. Geez, stop nagging. But now I'll go drinking today instead, so quit overreacting.
All right.
Hello, Helen. It seems like the funeral has concluded. I believe you noticed that I didn't attend. But it seems you all enjoyed some delicious food? Barry informed me. I would have appreciated it if you had ordered extra for me to take away.
Hi, Sally. We would have appreciated it if you had come or even helped out a little. It's been a difficult week for me. For the most part, I have finished organizing her belongings at home. Tomorrow, I'll be sorting out the rest of her belongings. Just last week, we were talking and laughing together. She seemed to be getting better. Her passing was sudden, and I'm still struggling to find closure.
But now that you don't have to take care of her anymore, you have more free time, right? You should be happy.
What are you saying? Of course, I can't be happy. I was very close to Judy, and her recent passing has been difficult for me.
By the way, I wanted to discuss the inheritance. Has it already been divided? Do we know who is getting what?
I thought so. I suspected something was off when you contacted me. Everyone knows you dislike talking to the in-laws. Sometimes you don't even reply for days. But I guess this is the only thing that motivates you.
Whatever, so how much does Barry receive? It's obvious how things were divided. I'm actually quite smart, you know. Since you guys already live there. You received all the land and the newly rebuilt house, right? So, I assume all the money goes to Barry, correct? You're so lucky, you know that, right? You acquired that huge house right after it was rebuilt.
You're so heartless. Do you really think that's what's going through my mind right now? Of course, I can't consider myself lucky. All I feel now is grief.
Well, news to you, I don't actually care about your feelings. So, was I correct? Did you receive all the money?
Couldn't you have asked that in person or left some flowers on Judy's grave? It's only a 30-minute drive from your house.
No can do, Helen. How many times do I have to tell you that I'm too busy and it's not worth my precious time? Plus, you know I don't want to get involved with the in-laws. I hate going out of my way for something that isn't even worth it. I'm smart like that, can't you see?
Wow, you're really something.
Stop wasting my time and hurry up and tell me what I'm asking you.
Well, as you said. Since we live here, we will continue to own the land and the house. All the money left in the deposits and savings bank account will be divided equally between James and Barry. The total amounts to around $30,000. So that means my husband and your husband will receive approximately $15,000 each.
What? $15,000. That's it? You've got to be kidding me.
Well, our ex-parents-in-law had to frequently visit the hospital for tests and checkups in their last years. They also had to stay there often. So there were many medical expenses associated with that, so it's understandable.
This is unbelievable. Are you seriously telling me that you and James received $15,000 in cash, along with the house and the land surrounding it? That's so unfair. The money shouldn't have been divided at all.
This has already been discussed and agreed upon between James and Barry. James told me that he explained everything to him in detail.
It doesn't matter, I don't agree with this. Don't you remember me telling you before? I made it clear that the only condition I would agree to was an equal division of the inheritance if you guys moved in with Judy. You tricked us.
No, Sally. I told you at that time, didn't I? That the inheritance would be divided according to the law.
This is ridiculous. $15,000 is not even more than Barry's salary. If that's the case, I'd rather have the house and the land.
There's nothing I can do about it, even if you get angry with me. And Judy's inheritance can only be passed on to her actual children, James and Barry.
So you're telling me we don't have any say in this? Fine then. In that case, I have my own ideas on how to deal with this catastrophe.
Your ideas?
This is definitely going to end with me getting more than you, Helen. Just wait and see, you stupid cow. Your actions have left me with no choice.
Wait, Sally. What are you planning to do? This is not a competition. You understand that, right?
Well, I just had to use my smarts a little, Helen. We all know that only the brothers received the inheritance, right? You guys fared much better in this whole situation.
What are you talking about?
Do I really need to explain everything? You guys received the money plus the house. You said it yourself, only the children are eligible for inheritance, right? So, in essence, you have the better deal because of your husband. Therefore, I'm going to take your husband. It's all because you couldn't handle things properly, Helen.
What the hell are you even talking about? You sound insane. Hey, reply to me, Sally. Hello? Sally.
Hey Helen, there's something I need to tell you.
Can we discuss it once I'm home? I'm currently in a business meeting at the office.
I don't think we'll have a chance to talk after you get home. So it's better to text about it now.
What's the matter?
I left the divorce registration form on the table in the living room. I'm planning to stay somewhere near my workplace tonight.
Hold on for a moment. What? Divorce? Moving out?
I want a divorce.
What are you saying?
Both my parents are no longer with us. Did you finish organizing Mom's belongings and settling the inheritance? Seeing you take care of everything made me realize I need to sort out things in my life as well.
Are you suggesting that it's my fault you feel this way because I took care of everything? What? I only did those things because nobody else would.
See, this is what frustrates me about you.
What do you mean?
I want to start afresh by divorcing you and officially being with Sally.
Being with Sally? What?
I've been dating her for 3 months now.
But Sally is your brother's wife. Are you out of your mind?
Well, she never really participated in family events and such. But from the moment I met her, I found her kind of cute. I couldn't stop thinking about her after Barry introduced us. Besides, she looks stunning in her wedding dress.
Wait, did you say you started seeing her 3 months ago? Wow, I never thought she would actually do something like this.
So I'm divorcing you to marry Sally. I'll give you half of the $15,000 that Mom gave me as alimony. That should be enough to satisfy you, right? So hurry up, pack your bags, and be ready to leave by the end of the day.
This is too sudden. You can't do this to me. Your mother just passed away. We just finished her customized headstone, and I finally finished clearing out the house.
That's why it's perfect for Sally and me to live there now. And that's why I'm telling you about the divorce now. This was Sally's idea. You could learn a thing or two from her. She's smarter than you. I wanted everything old and insignificant to be gone from the house for my new life.
So what you're saying is that you were cheating on me all this time, while I was handling the aftermath of the funeral? And now you drop the bombshell that you want a divorce to marry your brother's wife? After I took care of everything and it was all resolved? You said you couldn't help because of work. You're truly unbelievable. Your mother would be so ashamed of you.
Ha, it doesn't matter if a deceased person feels sad or not.
Oh my God.
Well, you were good at taking charge and being useful in that way. But in the end, Helen, it's about how your wife looks, you know? You look old now, and it's better for a man's pride to have a younger and more vibrant wife. It's part of showing off your wife to your colleagues. And to top it off, Sally is pregnant with my child.
You got her pregnant?
Yes, we're starting a new family. So it makes sense for us to live in my family home, right? We couldn't conceive a child together in 5 years. But as soon as I started seeing her, it happened. So it seems the issue was with you all along. That's the evidence. I suspected it was you all this time. Looks like your mind, face, and body were dysfunctional.
Are you serious?
I always was the favored child after all. So I have a responsibility to have many children and pass on my genes. You understand, right?
So you're kicking me out and choosing to be with Sally because she's pregnant with your child?
Yes, exactly. Well, if I may add, Sally has many more qualities than you. Your only quality was being a good housemaid. But not even attractive. Well, that's all. Just sign the divorce papers and take care of it, okay? Thanks for all the work you've done. Goodbye.
Well, it seems like you received the memo. So, it looks like I won't have to deal with you anymore. I took everything that belonged to you so that you wouldn't have to bother with them anymore. Obviously, that estate now belongs to us.
That estate is registered under my name. I am the owner.
Oh wow, are you serious? Geez, how can you be so dumb? Just to remind your tiny little brain. You were the one who said that only the brothers could inherit something. And James was the one to inherit the entire property.
That was only referring to the inheritance. James and Barry were the only ones eligible for that. And all I explained was that we were not among them.
What are you talking about?
What I mean is that the house and the land are not part of the inheritance. If I recall correctly, I never mentioned that they were inherited in the first place. Although I did mention that we would continue to live on this land as well as in the house.
What? You're not making any sense at all. How can that estate not be part of the inheritance?
Well, that's because our late mother-in-law put them under my name. This happened while she was alive.
Wait, what? Why would she do that?
She made that decision after John passed away. His illness incurred significant medical and hospitalization expenses. After spending money on funeral expenses, there wasn't much savings left.
What about her husband's inheritance after he died? Wasn't he wealthy because he owned a business?
By the time he became unable to work, his business was already on the verge of bankruptcy. It was struggling to survive day by day. He overworked himself, which was the main reason for his illness. After he was hospitalized, we had to liquidate all his assets. I covered all the deficits to prevent bankruptcy. Eventually, the business had to be closed down.
I've never heard about that before.
John was very proud of his reputation. So, he made everyone who knew the truth promise not to tell anyone. Only I, James, and Judy knew about it because he trusted us to be loyal. Unfortunately, Barry wasn't informed because he was living with you. And you were estranged from the family.
James never mentioned any of this to me. You're lying.
Well, I guess from James's perspective, it wasn't a big deal. It was something that was resolved without him having to intervene. He has a habit of making others take care of things he doesn't care about. He doesn't even know about the property tax for the house and the land.
Property tax. What's that?
It's a tax that you have to pay for owning property. You have to pay it annually. It's quite expensive considering the size of the estate. But Judy didn't have enough savings left to continue paying it. And she didn't trust James to handle it either. So she transferred the ownership to me, and I took care of everything.
Why could she trust you but not James?
Well, Sally, just as I mentioned earlier. His own mother knew that he hates taking responsibility for things that he can't be bothered with. And this was obviously one of those things. Besides, I have a higher income than him, and I'm more financially stable in terms of spending.
You're lying.
Judy didn't want all the effort she had put into paying the property tax since her husband's death to go to waste. She also considered how I was the only one who stepped in to compensate for the business's deficit. She knew she didn't have much time left and confided in me as the only person she truly trusted to take responsibility. She had already decided to transfer the estate to my name months before she passed away. She even suggested the idea of living together, so she wouldn't have to worry about giving me such a large property. As I was already familiar with the area and capable of taking care of everything. She even agreed when I asked if it was all right to remodel the house according to my taste. In the end, she encouraged me to rebuild the entire thing.
So, you're actually the official owner of the entire property. Did you pay for the reconstruction?
I didn't pay for all of it, though.
Then who paid for the rest of it?
You might not have known this because you weren't close to her. But Judy had a habit of buying lottery tickets every year-end. Apparently, she continued doing it throughout her marriage. And she finally won on her last New Year's ticket. She won a lottery prize worth $20 million.
20 million?
Thanks to that, Judy ended up shouldering most of the reconstruction fee.
What on earth? That's incredibly unfair. So, that means you ended up with the property and an extra $20 million. You selfish person.
Judy had the freedom to use her winnings as she pleased before she passed away. Furthermore, I had already provided financial assistance in the past to support the business and its bankruptcy. Even then, I declined her support. But she always found a way to reciprocate for my care and ensuring she received proper medical attention. She truly appreciated my constant presence and companionship. Moreover, she ensured that every penny of the $20 million was invested solely in the house's reconstruction, benefiting no one else. She always had doubts about James and how he managed his finances on a daily basis. At the very least, she didn't want to leave any chance for you or Barry to receive any of it either. You never visited her, and Barry obeyed your commands.
This is insane. Wait, does this mean that the house you're currently living in is worth more than $20 million? That's practically a mansion. It's much bigger than before.
Yes, that's correct. Let's move on from this topic. How about we discuss you and me now?
What?
I am filing for a divorce from James due to his infidelity. I will explore legal options against you for ruining my marriage. James mentioned something about compensating for your actions, with half of his inherited $15,000. But unfortunately, that won't be sufficient.
Hold on a minute. I'm currently pregnant with his child. How heartless can you be? I need all the financial support I can get, along with a comfortable mansion to raise our child.
Is it truly James' child? I'm quite certain that James is unable to father children.
Of course, this child is his. What are you implying? You foolish person.
Didn't you find it peculiar that we didn't have a child even after being married for around 5 years? We underwent tests at the hospital last year. We went together, leaving no room for doubt. He considered himself flawless, so initially, he was unwilling to go for the tests. Consequently, he didn't care to review or discuss the results. Frankly, I believe he forgot about taking the test altogether. His focus was solely on my tests.
Are you saying it turned out he was the reason we couldn't conceive?
Apparently, he is completely infertile.
That can't be true.
Oh, stop pretending, Sally. I have no issue sharing this information with Barry and James as well. They might react differently towards you, especially once they discover that you've been concealing evidence.
No. Wait a minute. Fine. I confess. I had a brief affair while Barry was on a business trip overseas. It's only fair, isn't it? He's always away from home for work and has every opportunity to have an affair. So, yes, in other words, this child is not James.
I suspected as much. Well, it's your responsibility to explain everything to James and resolve the situation. I don't want him back.
What? Why not?
To begin with, he never lifts a finger when it comes to tedious tasks like cleaning or helping out. And don't think for a second that he would take responsibility for matters that truly matter, even when they involve his own family. All he wants to do is sit back, relax, and make others do everything for him while he takes credit. He even forgot about the hospital tests we took, despite pressuring me to get them done. He didn't even bother informing his own brother about the change in house ownership and how it came about. When I questioned him, he lied and claimed he had taken care of it. He even grew slightly angry at me for underestimating him and thinking he couldn't handle such a simple task. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I regret not realizing how messed up and immature he was before marrying him. Now I finally have the freedom to live life as I please.
Wait, that's too much for me. I can't handle this. I'll give him back to you. Let's handle this like adults. I'll try to reconcile with Barry, and you can do the same with James. That's the smart thing to do, isn't it? Then, all our problems will be solved, right? Everything will go back to how it was before. Fine, I'll even bring flowers to our late mother-in-law's grave. That will make you happy, right? I'll attend all the family events if you want me to.
Wow, you're truly surprising. You claim to be smart, yet you fail to understand the real issue here. It seems I'll have my lawyer handle the rest from here on. My time is too valuable to waste on something like this.
Lawyer. You're involving lawyers in this?
I hope you have a pleasant discussion with my lawyer regarding the charges I will be pressing against you. Well, goodbye then. Oh, and if you're truly smart, you'd know that my entire estate is off limits to you.
No. Don't go. Please don't say that. We were supposed to be sister-in-law buddies, remember? Let's be friends. Please, you're my only sister-in-law.
I ended my marriage with James, and, as expected, Barry ended his marriage with Sally. James and Sally were ultimately obligated to compensate us for the damages caused by their interference in our affectionate relationship. Consequently, they were left completely destitute. Unable to obtain possession of my property or house, the two of them found themselves residing in a minuscule apartment. Currently, they are both struggling to make ends meet through their employment. It seems they are leading a life that they never imagined before.